Here's Will Lutz ready to get this one started. And off we go from Jacksonville. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the first carry for Tariq Cohen. And this defense feeling the encouragement. They stop him at the line of scrimmage on the first play of the afternoon. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down.
At the 25-yard line.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
I'm not sure that you would call it a trick play, but they definitely showed some imagination there. I wouldn't be surprised if they want to come back and show this play a few more times before this one is over.
An early tough test on the opening drive. This is 3rd and 8. From the gun, it's Trubisky. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Cornelder. And the return will be stopped at the 34-yard line. Well, not a good omen there. His first throw of the afternoon intercepted.
And I know what the fans are thinking right now. I hope there's not negative thoughts in his head going forward since that's his first throw of the game. But one of the things I remember about him coming out of school is he's able to wipe things away pretty easily and move on.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
64,
From the gun, Jones. And he completes it to Westbrook. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. A first carry now for Kareem Hunt. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down. Well, they were handed great starting field position on this drive, but now they face a 3rd and 4. Throwing Jones. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 23. And he will return this one to the 30-yard line. So a pretty shaky start here for both sides.
Yeah, each quarterback's throwing a ball to the other team. Do you think on both sidelines they're sitting them down and saying, okay, remember, this is the color jersey we're wearing. They're wearing the other color. Let's make sure we get it to our guys, please.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. Well, they were intercepted the first time they had the football, but now they get it back, and it's still 0-0.
And because of that, you know what the thought process is? Interception. What interception? It didn't really happen because they gave up no points. So go back on the attack. Go back and run the offense you believe will be successful. Find your playmakers and give them the football.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Out of the gun, Trubisky. Escaping the pressure right. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a third down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, and have them back on their heels.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. From the shotgun is Trubisky. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the... into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked by Ronnie Harrison. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line. First quarter, and now he already has 2 interceptions.
Yeah, he's got to guard against being tentative from this point forward, though. He's got to still make the right reads, make the proper throws. I've seen guys in this league throw 4 interceptions in a game and win. He's got to understand, put it behind you, keep pressing forward.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Looking long for Westbrook. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. Second down. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
3.5 to go, first quarter. Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10.
Well, it certainly appears that in this game, someone has decided they're going to open up their playbook. First quarter, and we see that play. I like their style.
Mike's 59. Mike's 50. Hey, exit. 59 Mike. 59 Mike. Check. 59. Let's make these babies cry all the way down.
On third down, Jones. And the throw there going to be incomplete. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part. It got them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football, and now zapped right back in the other direction. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively, obviously. 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit like, hey, didn't we practice in that colored jersey already? Not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. He missed on his first 3 passes, was 0 for 3. Now gets a connection. Maybe that'll get him going.
Yeah, it wasn't a time for panic, but there was some concern because once you start in a certain pattern, you're wondering, can you get out of it? And that flips the other way, too, when you're throwing it really well. In this case, now he's got his first completion. They think he might be off to the races.
And an alley to run. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. A good pickup, 17 yards and a Bear first down.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it could be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
Go.
This time, Trubisky will throw. Steps away to his left. And an alley to run.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
Throwing again on second down. Trubisky. And a big loss here as he's taken down. That's Yannick Ngakoue with a sack.
Well, nothing takes a start to have a good drive quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
After that sack we just saw, Trubisky and the Bears deal with a 3rd and long.
I can't believe they even let you play. Check 26, check 26. Switch.
He didn't seem in a rush. I guess they just didn't know where the play clock was.
I think you're right about that because there was no hurried movements there, right? No up-tempo at all. Clock just ran out. I think he was as surprised as maybe his bench was.
Now Trubisky on 3rd and long. Flush to his right. On the run. He'll let this go deep right side. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. So on 4th down, on is the punter, Pat O'Donnell, to kick it away. Back deep for the Jags, D.D. Westbrook. No returning this one. It sails out of bounds, and they'll spot it right at the 20.
At their own 20-yard line.
Let's go.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And this is their 3rd drive. Right now, maybe not about points, just about getting something. They haven't gotten a first down yet in this game.
It's a mental barrier you don't think about until you go a couple of drives without getting a first down. Then all of a sudden it looms big. It gets harder and harder to actually attain that first down.
So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. On first down, they go right back to Hunt. He's got the first down and more inside the 40. And finally, wrestled down at the 11. A big run by Kareem Hunt. Give him 42 yards on the ground. And look at that. I'd say somebody's already in mid-season form here in game number 1.
Doesn't need a whole lot of carries in the preseason, does he? He needs to get the ball when it counts. And when it does, he makes it count.
So how about this for field position after the big play? And he fires one that's intercepted. Desmond King picks it. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
Trubisky brings the Bears up 1st and 10 at their own 17-yard line. After the interception, here's Trubisky being chased out left. Got an open man. That's David Njoku, the tight end. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
Check. Motion to back. Hey, box truck. 44, Mike, 44.
To throw again on 2nd down. Trubisky going deep for Hopkins. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had the fly, just sending a guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said forget the underneath route. They went for the guy on the fly, but as you said, incomplete.
Rush in. Bang, 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 bang.
On third down, a run with Cohen. And a pretty nice tackle there, ranging up from his free safety spot as he'll stop him about a yard short. It'll be a gain of 4, but it won't be enough. It leaves him with a 4th down now. Here's Pat O'Donnell now as he's on to punt for Chicago. 46 on his first kick, this one in that neighborhood as well. And they'll play keep away from the returner as this one will be marked out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Pretty good spot.
Got it.
The Jacksonville offense set to begin their next drive. And 2 interceptions thrown here in this first half. You hear it, no matter the sport, they say the great athletes, they can kind of have a short-term memory, but that's easier said than done.
It is easier said than done, but I played with a guy who threw 2 interceptions in the first quarter of a really big game we were playing.
Johnny Unitas?
And no, not quite of that level and not of that age. But I remember
I was going for the age.
I remember looking over at him, and he was smiling. And I thought, what is he smiling about? It's because he had enough confidence in himself that that was a fluke. And he went out and played pretty well the rest of the day.
59 mark, 59 mark. Check. Get it.
Here's Jones. Throwing again. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. Kareem Hunt, his running back, the intended receiver. And it's 3rd down.
The touch and time are critical for those types of throws. He put a lot of zip on that one. Needed just a little bit more finesse trying to get it to his back.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. The open man is Westbrook. And they stop him short of the first as he can only get to the 20. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
We'll call that a 49-yard punt, but a net of just 39 following the 10-yard return. And the Bears take over. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And still no points on the scoreboard. You're coming off of the 3 and out. They're just looking for anything to grab onto right now, aren't they?
I'm wondering if someone's going to take charge in the huddle. You know, we always look to the quarterback, but sometimes it's another player on the team, a star, a veteran, someone with some excitement and energy. It's like, all right, guys, let's shake things up and let's go, because they still have an opportunity to make things happen.
Shake it off.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible, hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
On 2nd down, it's Cohen, and he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
From midfield now, here's Trubisky. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
Incomplete. Brings up 2nd and 10.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
I'm here all day. Hey, alert. Mike 50. Showing it. Alert.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up third down. The Bears on third down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 10.
Lock in, lock in. Check back 21, back 21, check back 21. Hey, wrong.
Throwing here, Trubisky. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The Jaguars going to go ahead and use their first timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. O'Donnell, he's on to punt as he gets this one away. And this will be out of bounds. Now it's a question of where they'll mark it. And they'll say it crosses at the 11-yard line. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And 3 and out on the last drive. No points on the scoreboard. A little soul-searching now?
I would say so, and they need to help out their defense a little bit. They've had to be on the field a lot more than normal, put them in some tough spots. But what's the old adage? When you get another chance, it gives you a better chance to do it right.
Okay, ready? 59, Mike. Mike is 59. Mike, what? Squeeze. Let's get off the field, D. Let's get off the field.
And he'll be about a full yard shy of the 20 at the 19-yard line. They get 14 yards, but not enough for the first down due to the previous penalty.
Well, that play looks familiar because we saw them working on it in practice this week. And for a lineman trying to block on this play, they love when they get the defense moving in one direction, and when they try and change directions, it's a lot easier to pick them up and ward them off.
And he'll lose yardage here, back to the 15. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up third down. 2 minutes on the clock in what's been a scoreless first half. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll again head down to visit with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando, back for another year. He'll have scores from around the NFL here on this opening weekend.
Watch 54. Come on. Kill. 6-6. Pull it high.
Jones to throw on third down. And that will be incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
Pilardi now on to punt as he sends this one away. Returnable for Grant. He had his sights on the end zone, no doubt, but is brought down after a huge return there. And this offense set up with a very short field. 1st and 10 inside the 20. A first trip to the red zone for the Bears. They have a 1st and 10 at the 18. Trubisky will throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Bears. DeAndre Hopkins there to make the grab as his guys are first onto the scoreboard here this afternoon.
And partner, you know I'm a big advocate of taking tape measures and just throw them away. I want to know if a guy can flat out play. Well, DeAndre Hopkins is about 6'1", and we're used to the guys who go up and take it one-handed like we just saw there. 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" guys. In this case, he plays way taller than what he's listed, doesn't he?
He does indeed, and that was spectacular.
And we've got to watch him work his routine. We saw it during practice during the week. We saw it in pregame. He works hard at these one-handed catches. He's not just showing off.
The Jacksonville offense set to begin their next drive. And last drive, 3 and out. Still a goose egg on the scoreboard. How do they break that goose egg?
They've got to find a way to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, get them some space, and try and make a first down and get some momentum going. It's been a struggle for them throughout the game, and that 3 and out on the last possession, that told you just how stalled they are on offense.
So who will step up here? We'll see. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Jones now to throw again. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off at the 35. And he'll bring this one back to the 29. That's sort of a second quarter to forget for him. Now 2 picks in this frame.
Almost as if the first one that he threw, he couldn't shake, couldn't get it out of his head. He ends up throwing a second one as a result.
Compounds the mistake a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be able to forget, compartmentalize, whatever you want to call it, and move on. He hasn't been able to do so here in the second.
A good run there on first down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2. On 2nd and a couple, Trubisky. Got his man, and it's caught for a Chicago touchdown. From 21 yards away, as the Bears push further out in front. Pinheiro now to add the extra point.
That score was not a game clincher by any stretch of the imagination. But the other team now has to be careful to not let this game begin to slip away.
Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line.
Ready.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off at the 33. And they will score a pick 6 for a Bears touchdown. Pinheiro now to add the extra point. And it is now 21-0. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Jacksonville offense set to begin their next drive. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
Want to.
I know, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get out.
Oh, now Harris lost it. It's a fumble.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Check.
To throw is Harris. A final shot before break. Looking long for Westbrook. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend. As we send you a couple hours south of here to Orlando, that's where we check in with a coach and our EA Sports halftime report. We'll see if week one fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. This is taken about 7 yards deep.
Come on, baby, let's go. Get excited. Let's go. Let's go. Here we go.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution? Or did they think they were just bad plays to call?
Yeah.
We'll find out pretty quickly here if they feel like they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out. Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. 2nd and 5. Flushed out right. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. What, he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
Looking to throw. Harris. He's got a man. Complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. And a big 32-yard play on third. Obviously, they're not where they want to be right now on the scoreboard. Big plays like that, though, that'll trend them in the right direction.
Yeah, a few more like that, they'll be right back in the game. And if they can continue to do that, maybe they'll inspire their defense as well. They'll get a few stops.
Looking for more there on first down, but this throw downfield, incomplete.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man on man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
Now a pass dumped off to his running back. Nothing on the screen that time. Now it's 3rd down.
So many screen passes are the result of excellent acting by everyone. But sometimes the guy who's getting the ball tips the play off. The running back, because he's eager to get the pass. And sometimes he doesn't act very well about whether he's going to block or leak out or whatever. And I think that they saw that, and that's why they're able to get to him on it.
Back to throw. Harris. Open man is Westbrook, complete. And they'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds. That one good for a gain of 13 for Jacksonville and a first down. This quarterback now 3 out of 5 since taking over as he's given his guys a first down. On first down, they'll run with Hunt. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Harris now looking to throw on 2nd down. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Below Nichols able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
That's his 2nd sack of the game. And the best defensive ends, they do their homework as much as offensive guys do. They know how to beat the offensive lineman across from them, what moves they need to do to set them up. This guy's been pretty good at it all game long.
Here's Harris throwing on 3rd and long. Eluding the pressure right. And that is incomplete. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary, it really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them.
Was a kicker from that distance, 56, 57 yards. So many things you got to worry about, but I am a little surprised he didn't get it there.
Yeah, with the way kickers are nowadays, we're surprised anything under 65 that it doesn't get at least to the crossbar. But remember this, you have to drive it a little bit lower in order to make that distance, and you also have to be worried about the interior rush that they can get their hands on it. So that's why those stronger kickers nowadays who can pop it up in the air and still travel and carry it, that's who you're looking for.
There for the tackle, the former Wisconsin Badger, Leon Jacobs. The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5.
Watch the run. Watch the run. Hey, alert.
And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Mark that down as a pickup of 13, and the Bears have the first.
And while we're seeing more and more of these plays come from the college game into the NFL, and that one, it was run with great success, how about the evolution of the offensive linemen? We're seeing less and less big guys who can't move, and more guys who are a lot more mobile and can get out in front of that type of a play.
Now Cohen trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and no more. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Get some penetration here. Alert. Check it out. Alert. We ain't giving up nothing today.
Now they'll throw it with Trubisky. On the crossing route, complete. It's Grant. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Jaguars' 15-yard line.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. And that is caught. Touchdown, Bears. DeAndre Hopkins. Already his 2nd touchdown here in this opening weekend as the Bears push further out in front.
A lot of people might call this backyard football. Sometimes just understanding who you've got out wide and who you're going to throw it to. Give him an opportunity to go up and make a play, even when contested. Looks like that one worked out pretty well. The trust factor in effect.
Point after, right down the middle. And it is 28-0. Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off.
The Jaguars take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Jacksonville offense set to begin their next drive. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Here's 2nd and 8. Escaping the pressure right. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. Losing 4 yards that time, and now it's 4th down. Here's Michael Pilardi now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far.
Let's go, boys. Let's go.
And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. And that'll do it for the end of the 2nd quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
Check.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. A good pickup, 17 yards and a Bear first down. And I think we can get used to seeing more of that in this 4th quarter, especially if they're having success on the ground like they did there.
Yeah, I think back when we met with the head coach in preseason, and all he talked about was building a bully. And I think it was this situation he was envisioning. Trying to ice a game, plenty of time left, but being able to give the ball to his big runner and pound away and try and finish off a game.
Brings up 2nd and 10 at the 50-yard line.
Blue, blue, blue. Come to my world. We want it. Come to my world. Hey, hey, hey. Let's go. Come on.
20. And they're going to be set up down around the 15-yard line. The previous play, they barely got back to the line of scrimmage. Now they pick up over 30 yards.
First down, Bears.
So after the big play, look at this, all the way down at the 15 now on 1st and 10.
You got nothing.
First down, a run with Cohen. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down.
Second and 10 at the Jaguars' 15-yard line.
40 set, ready. 60 out low. Leo. He's coming, he's coming, he's coming. We got double up, double up. He's checking Chris.
And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. It's a 10-yard gain there to set him up 1st and goal. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
Watch out, watch out, watch out.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. That gets them 3 yards closer here as it brings up 2nd and goal. 4th quarter, you've got the lead. You have to stay in bounds and run that clock. Coaches, that'll drive them crazy.
Sacrifice a yard or two if you have to. Just go down, in bounds, keep that clock going. It's almost like he was caring more about his fantasy stats than it was about winning the game, and that has to drive a coach crazy.
And this one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming. Line of scrimmage at the 4. Here's 3rd and goal.
44's the mic. 44's the mic. Go. 18, 18. Go.
Now it's Trubisky. He'll buy some time right and give him another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues. And a pause in the action because the booth, they see something that they want to take another peek at to find out if this was a touchdown or not.
Complete to number 87. Touchdown, Chicago. The kicker on for the point after.
It took them an extra look, but they found out it is a touchdown indeed. The official says this one counts. The extra point splits the uprights, and that will extend this big lead.
Jaguars, nothing.
Now after the touchdown, here's Pinheiro to kick it off. This will be taken short. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line.
At their own 28-yard line.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. They run with Hunt. And here's another tackle made at the line. So they're converging well on the football now. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down.
It's 3rd and 10.
The Jaguars on 3rd down. Not so hot. 2 for 9 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. Now Harris on 3rd down. He'll get this over Westbrook. It's complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 10 yards there, good enough for a Jags first down. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
I'm going to run you over. Mike's 59. Mike's 59.
Harris on first down. Forced out to his left. A throw left side complete to his receiver Westbrook. The Jaguars going to go ahead and use their first timeout as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the first down.
First and 10 at the 47-yard line.
To throw is Harris on first and 10. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down. This one winding toward a conclusion. And how would you assess how the secondary is played?
Well, we just saw them take another shot downfield that was incomplete, correct?
Correct.
So my assessment is that if anyone's played really well in this game, it's been the secondary. That was the latest example.
Yeah, they've been solid. Really, the whole defense has been solid. Still pitching a shutout. To throw again. Harris. Flush to his right. Pressure, and he's taken down. A Bear sack. That's sacked by Khalil Mack.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
Mike, check, 59. Know your job.
Throwing on third and long. Harris gets this to Kareem Hunt, his running back. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and that's going to make it fourth down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
He's going to let it fly. And that's incomplete. Clock stops with 10 seconds left. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And this defense will take over right at midfield. Good starting field position for them as they come up first and 10 right at the 50-yard line. The defense can stop it twice more as they take a knee here.
A loss of a yard brings up second and 11 at their 48-yard line.
So this one in the win column for the Chicago Bears. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one. And that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, off a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So for the Bears, you can't ask for a better start as they pitch a shutout here in the opener. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. Meanwhile, for Jacksonville, they go down to defeat here in the opener. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves next week at home against Jacksonville. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.
Tell me what you want, what you need. Tell me what you wanna give. How much blood would you bleed? I'ma tell you I'm a missing fever. I'm a believer.